Alright, I know it's been a while, and I'm not sure why it took so long to start this video, or just make a video on Resident Evil 9. If you clicked on it, you know that this is the game that we'll be talking about. I really enjoyed it, just to kind of throw that out of the way. Uh, it was a nice game to play for me compared to what I got to experience in 7-8. I really don't care for games where like the protagonist or whoever it is that you're playing doesn't really take center stage, or it doesn't matter, like they just want it to be like a self-insert for the player. I don't really care for that. I don't like that. I think his name was Ethan, was just kind of ignored, thrown away, and they got rid of him in those games. Basically his story just finished with not much fanfare. But anyways, this one thing I do have kind of a problem, just to get also this out of the way, was that I really like Leon, but now that we got the Resident Evil 2 remake, then we got the Resident Evil 4 remake, and then this game comes out and Leon is kind of at the forefront, it feels a little weird, just because I'm a big fan of Jill, and it kind of sucks to not be able to play as her or have her come back in a mainline game for quite a while. And so for me, I really liked playing Resident Evil 3 remake. It was nice to see her again. But it's so weird that Capcom just has this weird fascination with like, hey, let's do some more stuff on Chris, let's do stuff more on Leon. I don't like Chris, but Leon, great character. I just wish that they were like, hey, how about Rebecca back in this from Resident Evil 0? How about Jill? She was cool, but well, whatever. Let's start. I'm gonna have the game audio just playing because I think it's a really good intro. And I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the game a lot and then just proceed with the intro of the game, because that way there's not too much spoilers, but obviously we're gonna have spoilers in the game. And I feel like if I feel like there's not enough to go on, because there's some things I do want to focus, I'll skip ahead with some of my different save files that I have. So let's keep going. I have to say, this game is beautiful. You're seeing this running on performance mode. Sorry, I'll try to like moderate the volume, but at least from what I'm seeing while I'm recording this, I'm using my phone to capture my TV, and this is not in graphics mode. So I will give them credit where credit is due. They are really good at making their games look so good. I mean, sure, the character models need a little work. Some of it might feel outdated, but just looking at the environments, the way the rain is hitting, I am a big fan of these big blocky text. It reminds me of like watching a movie. I think it's really good. I don't know if I recommend whether you play on PS5, Xbox, or PC. I play on PS5. I really enjoy the adaptive triggers and how they feel on control. I'm sure people like playing on PC, but for me, a controller always just feels good compared to like using a keyboard and mouse. First things first, so in this game, you obviously play as Leon. You play as this new person named Grace. And this is like the beginning of the level. She's out here. I skipped the first cutscene, kind of explains why she's here, but suffice to say that she's out here exploring some weird happenings, and yeah, I really like this. Like, you're coming in, it's just a one-way path forward. You're kind of on rails right now. Not really, you can't really explore onto the street, but it feels so lived in. Like, to people just walking around, all of it just feels so nice. And I remember just starting this game, I was already immediately impressed. I'm like, oh wow, this is so cool. Like, this could have been just such a throwaway. They could have just started you in the middle of like, hey, here's a spooky place. But no, they gave you like some place to walk around. You can look for stuff. There's always like these little billboards that you can look at. And what's nice about this game is that, I'll see if I can pause it and show you, but they offer different modes that you can play this in. So for the camera, they recommend for Grace that you do first person. I don't actually care for that, but I'll show it to you just because I think it's kind of cool. I played the whole game with both characters in third person. I'm a big fan of like, hey, if you're playing as someone important to the story, to the game, I want to see them as I'm playing them. Nothing wrong with first person. I still liked it when I played Resident Evil 7 and 8. Especially in the more moody rooms, more claustrophobic locations. I can see why first person is something that they would want you to play. And they kind of intended the Grace sections to be the more spooky, scary survival horror, while when you switch to Leon, it's more action heavy and focused. But we'll do this for now, just so you can kind of see more of the world with having Grace kind of take a huge chunk of it. I think this looks great. So I'm pretty sure here's something you can pick up. Yep. And I kind of became a big fan of this. I don't know why I like this in games where like they have little notes and things that you can read, and Resident Evil's famous for this, other games do this all the time, like Last of Us. But whenever you read something, it goes into like your notes. And I'm pretty sure if I go into this, you can see like files you pick up. Here I already have all of them, but there's a bunch of files that you collect. And I have always liked this. I always feel bad because I try not to use guides when I play games, especially for first run through. But whenever I see that missing, hey, you forgot something, I check so well too, but whatever. So yeah, the game kind of switches between two different players, or two different people, Grace and Leon. And it's strange because you play so much as Grace initially, and then for some reason towards like half of the game, it starts to pivot, which I found a little weird because I was kind of annoyed that you only saw Leon for very brief sections, and then for some reason I'm like, okay, I hope it changes, and it does change. Eventually you see that Leon gets more screen time, more action, and Grace kind of gets put to the back burner, which I found funny. I didn't mind because I got to play a lot of Grace, and I felt like where the story was heading, it just made sense that you need to play as Leon for most of it. Grace is still there, she still has presence, but you're gonna get most of your screen time with her and just seeing how she works, what she cares about in the beginning of the game, which I think is kind of cool. It sets up the mood, sets up the pace, and then by the time you're like in the swing of things, I think Leon being the focus, just I prefer more.
Hey, that's a restricted area. You can't go in there.
Why?
It's an active
I kind of like the stutter. I'm not sure why, but
Oh, right. Sorry.
I really like how much like effort the voice actress puts into some of these cutscenes. I think the voice work is just amazing. I'm always a big fan of saying that games are just amazing art, comparable to movies, to TV shows, and not below them.
Fifth one now, right?
So I'm glad that there's just these voice actors that can bring these characters to life and make them feel way more real than they used to be in the past.
Why else would the FBI be investigating?
Well, anyways, we'll play this for a little bit, but I will kind of want to focus on just this start because the intro, I don't know if they did a demo. I think they did, but
Sure.
the intro just sets up what you can expect from this game. And I think the better level to have shown, and I could have just shown it to you guys, but if you've never played this and you plan to play it, I think it's better just to experience it for yourself. I'm always a big fan of like not having spoilers, even though this technically will have spoilers. If you've never played this before, stop this video, go play it. If you have, you know what I mean. That hospital level, is it hospital level? I'm assuming it's hospital. It's just a really good level design. It makes me think of like the mansion from Resident Evil 1. Sorry, just as soon as I pause because I'm looking at the game like, wow, this actually looks really good. After beating this game, I went to go play Hades 2. It's like an old game I've never got to try. I was like really waiting for it to just hit version 1. I know it was on Steam with early access, but man, I was playing that game for a hot minute. So it's going from like an isometric 2D game-ish kind of game to this 3D world that just looks so real. It's jarring. Okay, so we leave now like the crowded street, and now we're ooh, spooky. And in the part of the game, let me see if I raise the volume. Hopefully this doesn't come out too loud on the recording, but hoping you can hear my voice and the game at the same time. Can't open that. I can sprint a little. Look how good all this looks. Like I don't know, it looks so real. Alright, so this is where we're supposed to go and investigate, and let's go in. I really like this, so you can see your hand pushing the door. And when we switch to third person, it has like a look that makes sense. So I have my gun, I can't really pull out yet. But we went from, if you notice, outside there's like rain, there's ambient noise. As soon as I got in here, dead quiet. And now I'm looking at my phone. I wasn't actually looking at it, I was looking at the TV. It looks so good, even the fact that it's recording from the TV. I really like the noise, just like I'm hitting what? Was I hitting like buckets or something? Yeah, these cans. Like that they're making noise. And I'll try to raise it a bit. Sorry, jump scare if it gets anybody, if it gets louder later. But even this, it already feels spooky. And the later parts where you get to play more of her and there's zombies obviously and you're shooting, it always feels very tense, very atmospheric. And I always would walk slow with her. Like as soon as I switch to Leon, I'm going in, guns a blazing. I mean, he gets more guns, he has more ammo. And with her, they're trying really hard to give you that survival feeling from Resident Evil 7, at least the first half, before you can become overpowered. But just everything about this feels so spooky. What's in here? Uh-oh. That noise of her throwing up. I think that's funny. Let's get what's in here. It's funny because you would think that this has like story importance, and it does not. Not that I remember. It does not. It's just all setting the mood, making this place look really yucky. Let's cross. I'm not sure how people feel about cutscenes, but I've always been a big fan of just putting cutscenes in games. It's so nice to just get like a breather from the gameplay, but also just seeing the characters reacting, the voice actors getting to do their work, and just selling what's happening, and selling the fact that they care and that the world they live in matters. And it's cool too because like there's some trauma to her that does get explored later. Okay, so let's read this. Like I'll spare you guys the detail, but let's pretend we read it. It's just, that's one thing I came from. Now I haven't played this in a while and I forget, but you hear Grace make these hilarious noises. There's even this like really, I mean, I see it more if you're playing in 3D, but when you're running away from a monster and she'll like trip. And it's so interesting that they've added like these new wrinkles to just movement because of her being frantic and her trying to get away from a monster. I think was a well done touch. Can't open that. Oh, that just got me. I already played this and that actually spooked me. Oh man. And that's the one thing I really like about this game. Like I'm playing this again, I know what happens, and yet just the mood is here. Like you hear the water dripping down. It's very quiet. My flashlight is so bright in the center, but around it it's dark, so you're still kind of squinting to see like what's there. And even this, like this looks spooky. Like this face. Who knows what that face is? It just doesn't look right. As you going, I'm going kind of slow. Okay, there's nothing here. I always think this is funny when they get rid of mirrors, because I think from what I know or from what I heard about game design, it's really hard to show like the mirrored object of like you reflecting. I heard like reflecting images are difficult to program or to have running. Okay, what's in here? Obviously cannot be good. More of that pot stuff. Okay, I'm seeing the timer, and I won't make this too long, but I wanted you to see at least why the atmosphere matters so much, because you can talk about so much of this game with, well, was there too much Leon? Did they not balance it right with not having enough Grace? Sure, there are like minor complaints here and there, and I think for me the biggest issue has, I mean, I'm a big fan of story. It's like one of the reasons I really like Witcher 3, one of the reasons I really like The Last of Us games. But for this, I think the story starts off so strong and it gets so weak later. Some of the character choices that Grace makes are kind of nonsensical. There's too much focus on I forgot what his name was, but the guy who created the virus from Resident Evil 1. And I get that the whole point was like, hey, we need to close this up, wrap it up, and just move on from like this old story lines that we've created that we never kind of resolved. So I like that at least this game serves as a closure to everything that we've seen previous to all these games. And now Resident Evil 10 or whatever it's gonna be called can focus on like new stories, new enemies. We're not no longer focused on Umbrella. And I just, if anything, if you're gonna keep Leon and Chris around, please bring back other characters that we know, like Rebecca, Jill, and even, oh my god, what's her name? The girl from Resident Evil 2. Claire. Please, like, bring some of them back. I mean, we'll get to see Claire and Code Veronica, but please bring back Jill and Rebecca. But yeah, anyways, even with like those gripes aside, whether it's too much action later, too many guns, too much ammo, you feel overpowered, regardless of all these complaints that you can have late in the latter half of the game, I will say like this intro serves as just a good showing of what at least half the game is, where a lot of the great sections are scary, tense, claustrophobic, you're running from things, and I hope you got to these. I still got scared even though I knew what was gonna happen. And you can hear her voice. She's going, and I like that. It sells the feeling that this is scary. Now we're like, what kicked that bucket? Where are we going? Okay. And that's kind of spooky. Who put that picture of me? Someone's watching me. Okay. I just think that spinning the control on the right makes it rotate, even though it says. Kind of spooky. And here we go.
Who's there?
I really like that. Who's sick?
What do I do?
Sorry guys, I just stopped talking because I wanted you to hear just the acting and the sound design. It's all so good. All right, let's see. I think we'll cut it off there. Once we get to the room, I think that'll be a good stopping point. I don't want to get too long in this video. And man, I forgot how good this looks. And look at how that curtain flowed. So nice. I always think that's funny, like when you look down, I'm just like, I'm expecting something to jump up at me. Spooky noises. Alright, whatever. I'll stop stalling. To room 204. I love those spooky noises. We're almost there. Here we go. Oops, not that. Is it here? Box cutter. Oh, we need something to cut that with. There we go. Ooh, they almost got me.
Shit.
Man, this place is gross. And let's do this.
Who?
Oh, my gun's out. What could that possibly mean? Alright, let's get out of here. Someone's obviously stalking us. We were led here on an investigation. Seems like we're kind of trapped. Somebody wanted us here. That does not bode well. Let's go look for the exit. Cool. Easy. I feel like this is turning into a let's play because I forgot where I'm supposed to get the item. Okay, hold on. I need a key. Am I forgetting where the key went? That's what I get for not fully exploring that room that we were just in. Alright guys, well, for those that did not want to say, for me, struggling to find where that key is, I completely understand. I just wanted to show... Okay, there is no key here. Oh, that like spooked me. What the heck is that? I don't think I remember seeing that the first time I played this. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to look at something. Now I'm remembering. But I don't know if I activated the clue. I'm hoping I did. Weird. Oh, now I'm super confused. What am I supposed to do? This is literally turning into a Let's Play. I'm going to go back to that room we were just in. This is what I get for trying to concentrate on what to say versus what I'm looking for in the game. Okay, I'm obviously missing something. Oh my god, I did not fully look at this. Is that why? There it is. Oh my god, that was my mistake. My bad, guys. Ooh, that looks spooky. You can kind of see my reflection. Alright, and then I think we're gonna probably cut it here. Kind of goes into we'll skip this because it just goes into kind of like her background. And you're sleeping with the mom. So, one day here, but I highly recommend if you guys like what you saw, at least from the intro. I tried not to spoil much of it, even some of the stuff I talk about with who you play later. I didn't want to say too much, but highly recommend you try this game out. It's really fun, really good, and if you've liked any of their previous Resident Evil games, if you've played Resident Evil 2 Remake, 3 or 4 Remake, 7 or 8, and liked any of them, you will like this one. The story is a little, okay, could be better, but serviceable enough to make you care to get to the end, and the fact that you have to play with both characters just makes it so enjoyable, and the fact that their playstyles and the focus of the horror shifts is such a nice touch. And if you guys made it to the end, I apologize for not figuring that thing out earlier. I think we had like almost 2 minutes of dead time, me just going back to the room twice. This is what happens when you don't play the game in a few months since it came out. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll try to be more frequent with these videos, at least weekly is my goal. So, I'll see you in the next one, and I might do one on Hades too, just because I had so much fun with it, and it's something I want to talk about next. So thanks for watching, see you in the next one. Bye!